Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for the Geneva Summit, for this conference for human rights. But I would like to give my speech in my nationality language. سيداتي وسادتي الحضور في قمة جنيف لحقوق الإنسان، طابت أوقاتكم السيدات والسادة الحضور، السادة السفراء والشخصيات العامة الحاضرة في هذا المؤتمر، سعادة سفير بلدي المحترم. يقولون إن المرأة هي مرآة المجتمع، بل هي المجتمع بأكمله، ويقولون بأن وراء كل رجل عظيم امرأة. هكذا يعبر المثقفون في العصر الحاضر عن أهمية المرأة في المجتمع، وبلا شك فإن المرأة نصف المجتمع، وإنها هي التي تصنع النصف الآخر، فهي مربية الأجيال وصانعة الرجال، وهي الأم والأخت والزوجة والابنة. هناك نماذج من نساء عظيمات استطعن أن يقودن شعوباً وبلداناً كبيرة، وأخريات استطعن أن يقودن ثورات
qui ont dirigé de grandes nations.
And wars against colonialists and invaders who developed science, art, and literature. And for all of this, and with the 20th century began a start toward legalizing women's rights. In 1912 at The Hague there was the adoption of the Conventions on Conflict of National Laws relating to marriage and divorce. And in 1914 the International Labour Organization issued the Maternity Protection Convention, and it's all aimed to support working women and underground work for women. And after the Second World War, the international interest in women issues got greater, and the Charter of United Nations in 1945 promotes respect for human rights and fundamental freedom for everyone, without distinction due to race or sex, language or religion, women, men. And in 1948, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and it was a huge step towards the protection of women's rights and family care. And in 1952, the UN Commission of the Status of Women prepared the Women Political Rights Treaty, which was adopted by the UN General Assembly. 1976, the United Nations passed a special declaration on the elimination of discrimination against women. And 1968, the Tehran Declaration of Support for Women was released. And there was a lots of other conventions and treaties, and despite these conventions and treaties throughout history, and we should not forget that despite all these treaties throughout history, and there is still the persecution of women and people in general. And the statistics of violence against women are terrifying. there are a lot of differences between countries, but the violence and persecution could be seen clearly in what happened in Iraq and Syria. The result of the brutal acts by the terrorists of ISIS, torturing women and killing them, torturing and killing their parents in front of their eyes, and kidnapping their children, to the ugliest crime in modern history, kidnapping Yazidi women, raping them, and offering them for sale in the markets of Mosul and Raqqa. Young children were sold in and front all of the world and the international community. And in the absence of the free world and the blatant defense of all human values in front of the eyes and ears of the world, this terrorist organization has been selling women like brands. Unfortunately, despite all our efforts to deliver their voice to international bodies, there are still more than 3,600 girls and Yazidi women who are still kidnapped by ISIS, living tortured lives, and there are hundreds or even thousands of women from different religions living under very critical conditions in the camps, and sometimes without even a roof. I'm here to ask the international community to help more than 3 million Yazidi women and child. But I want to say what happened to us is no less horrible than what happened to the women in Burma and the victims of Boko Haram in Nigeria and every corner in the world, where women are subjugated to the worst kind of oppression and persecution. Today we must all unite to fight the oppression of women. I'm here to not only speak on behalf of Yazidi Iraqi women, whom I witnessed with my own eyes being victims to violence, and the thousands of widows and orphans, and thousands who are being beaten up, and thousands of kidnapped and being sold, and the thousands who were taken out of their schools. I'm here to speak for every oppressed woman in everywhere in the world, in Zimbabwe, in Cambodia, or in France, or in America. There is no difference as long as they are exposed to violence and persecution. We have to start helping women at home with education and go further to areas of armed conflicts, and not limit ourselves to the enactment of laws and treaties. We need to help these women and get them out of their difficulty, prevent trafficking by supporting them and giving them a normal life. Finally, I would like to thank you very much for your confidence in me by giving me this award. It's a great honor, a big responsibility. You have given me the opportunity to raise the voice of all the oppressed women in every part of the world. This is an award for every oppressed woman, and the civilized world will not forget or ignore your suffering. And I would like also to mention that I dedicate this award for Yazidi women, the kidnapped Yazidi women, which are being tortured brutally by the ISIS. And I tell them, we will save you, we will save you. I dedicate this award to the Iraqi women which struggle for her family in the camps, and I dedicate it to all the young Yazidis which could free or escape the slavery camps of Daesh.